united free for liberty together we always stand. Mungu twaomba ulinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tunilinde, tuwajibike, tuimarike, umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, litumu jumuiya yetu.
Let's humble ourselves and pray. Father, Lord, we thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for today. We thank you for the sun that you've provided for us. And we thank you that whoever traveled here reached in safe hands, and those who are yet to come are coming safely. We thank you for the gift that you've given us of voice that is enabling us to speak today, to speak about the important things in our lives. We thank you that we are going to speak and impact lives, and we shall not live here as a tournament, but as climate justice activists. In Jesus, and we pray that this day is a success and is to praise your name. In Jesus' name I've prayed. Amen.
Once again, good morning. I just want to ask something brief. Do we all have smartphones here? We do? Do we have data a bit? We do? I am requesting those who have smartphones to please sign in into your YouTube and subscribe to MemPro. That's where we are streaming live from. And we welcome you today once again. So please subscribe and share that link and video to your friends, groups, and relatives to make impact. This conversation is a global conversation. It's not just a regional conversation. It's a global issue, and we want you to be that change we want to see. So you can be that change by sending that live stream link to your groups, families, and friends. Other than that, good morning.
So we are going to start the program from semi-finals, and then we shall have opening remarks. Then I will flow the program as it goes. Thank you. Over to the judges of room 1.
Okay, thank you very much, our MC, and for the prayers and the anthems. My name is Melody. I'm with a panel of 2 other judges, Desmond and Winnie. I'll be the chair for this panel. So our motion for today's semi-finals is: can Uganda rely on other sources of energy besides renewable energy? So I'll as well be timing. Each speaker will have 5 minutes and we'll have a reply speech for 2 minutes. I'll signal for you like this after you have used your first minute, so that the people on the other side can raise POIs. When you're left with 1 minute, I'll signal again, and when your time is done, I will clap so that you can stop your speech. I'll give an extra 15 seconds for any speaker so that they can summarize their speech. So you're welcome to the semi-finals, and congratulations upon reaching the semi-finals. I wish you the best. So let us welcome the first speaker from the proposition side. Do us justice to say your name and read for us the motion once you start speaking. Thank you.
I begin my debate from X. So for X, so this year resolution states, can Uganda rely on other energy sources besides renewable energy? At the bottom of the bottle of wine lies the poison. First speaker, team affirmative, Abigail Alex. So this is a questionable resolution. It is asking us, can Uganda use other energy resources apart from renewable energy? Can it come and use these other resources? So as team of farmers, we are saying yes. It can use other energy resources. Our house is the 11th parliament. Our parameter is the globe. And then our status quo is energy sources for efficient development. Now, why do we want Uganda to use other energy resources? Why are we saying that, yeah, it can use other energy resources? Firstly, energy security, economic benefits, and infrastructure development. Now, first of all, we are not saying that Uganda will only be using these other non-renewable resources. It will also be using the renewable resources and also the non-renewable resources at the same time. And which resources do we want Uganda to use? We want to narrow our debate in a way that Uganda will use fossil fuels, coal, and petroleum. Those are the non-renewable resources that we want Uganda to use as team of farmers. So when we look at coal firstly, it has a high wax. It produces more energy compared to the solar panels, compared to the wind turbines, and compared to hydroelectric power. That is why we want Uganda to use these other non-renewable resources like coal, petroleum, and then fossil fuels. We all know that, yeah, we are aware as team negators that these resources have their problems. We are aware that they have their problems, that they will pollute the environment, but we already have solutions to these problems. We have already mitigated these problems as team of farmers. We want to use catalyst converters that will convert all these the greenhouse gases. It will convert them in a way that when they are released, they will be harmless to the environment. We are going to use emission controls like scrubbers, electrostatic precipitors. We are going to use carbon arresters, whereby when we use these other non-renewable resources, when they excrete these greenhouse emissions, when they are excreted, they are going to be resolved. So we know that they don't want to use non-renewable resources. They want to use only renewable resources like solar panels. But when these solar panels run out, where will they go? What are they going to do with them? Because we know that the solar panels, they are going to stay for 10 years. After the 10 years, they will be useless. What will they do? They'll just throw them to the environment. Isn't that leading to environmental degradation? When they pollute the environment by throwing the solar panels just there. And we also know that other non-renewable resources, like they might use batteries. But can everyone afford these batteries? Will everyone be able to come and buy these batteries? No, they will not be able. That is why we want to use other energy resources
We want to use this coal because we know that it will help in the economy of Uganda. Let us look at how Kenya and Tanzania are historically known for using fossil fuels, and they are developing countries just like Uganda, but can you compare them with Uganda? No. Why? Because they are more developed compared to Uganda, because they are using fossil fuels, while Uganda is just they are basing themselves on these renewable resources. First of all, these renewable resources, they are not always there when they are needed. We have solar. We have when it is raining. Where will we get the sun to move? If they say they don't want to use non-renewable resources like petrol, now for the people who have cars, they want to use solar cars. Will there be sun when it is raining? Because first of all, when it is raining, we want to make sure they don't know what they are going to be doing. First of all, when we look at the windy months, the only windy months that we are aware of is December, January, and February. What are you going to be doing in other months? Will you always be depending on the sun, which is not always there? What when you want to travel at night, is there the sun? When you want to use your cars at night, do we have sun then? No. That is why we want to use petrol that will help and that will travel in these cars, that will be able to make transport easier. And we want to, for infrastructural development, what are we saying and what do we mean? When we look at this oil, first of all, oil has a high demand in the country. Uganda's oil come in to bring billions of dollars. That is infrastructural development. And these funds, when we get these funds, we shall divert them to other places of Uganda, like education, like roads. We shall provide more and more efficiency. We are going to be using these non-renewable resources and also renewable resources. So yeah, Uganda can depend on also non-renewable resources. Every beginning has an end, but unfortunately this is mine. Thank you. First speaker, affirmative side.
I recognize the presence of the judges, the audience, and the debating parties. Here I've come to oppose the motion of today, wrongly written, saying that can Uganda rely on other energy sources beside renewable resource? On my side, it's supposed to be Uganda cannot rely on other sources of energy apart from renewable energy. As I have seen, let me first introduce my members. Shanita and Preeti, these are the people from my side. So these are points of argument we are going to talk about. Renewable energy is healthier. Renewable are cheaper. Other sources like non-renewable contribute to climate change and pollution. Renewable energy are sustainable and replenished. Allow me to talk about renewable energy is healthier. According to the World Health Organization, about 99% of people in the world breathe air that exceeds air quality limits, and this strengthens their health, and more than 15 million deaths around the world each year are due to available environmental causes, including air pollution, the unhealthy levels of fine particles of matter. Air and nitrogen dioxide originates mainly from the burning of fossil fuels. And I've heard the first speaker have said that also there are dangers you are getting from fossil fuels. And yet the healthy levels of fine particles of matter and nitrogen dioxide originates mainly from the burning of fossil fuel. Switching to clean sources of energy to address not any climate change but also air pollution. So we are seeing here, like she have said that when it is in rainy season that the renewable energy cannot work, and yet this thing, it is also cheaper than those are expensive. Like for some people, when there is no money to get other other types of energy. It's better we should use this one just because it is not expensive and it is cheaper. And in most parts of Uganda, we are seeing many people are also using renewable energy. So renewable energy is healthier. Mrs. Chairperson, I would like to stop here. I rest my case.
Second speaker, affirmative side, Angeline Blessing. This resolution, can Uganda rely on other energy sources besides renewable energy? Looks like the team affirmatives are not really understanding the case of this resolution. We're not saying that we're not going to use renewable energy resources, but we are saying that besides these renewable energy sources, we are going to use other energy sources. My teammate, my first speaker, had said that these energy sources are fossil fuel called petroleum. And then again, their speaker had said that 99% of the Ugandans breathe air that is contaminated. My dear, my speaker had said that we know that these risks exist, right? But we have mitigation measures. For example, we know that when we are going to use petroleum, there's going to be carbon dioxide and methane that is going to be evolved. But we are saying that this carbon dioxide is going to be stored in gas cylinders, is going to be stored in fire extinguishers, and this methane is going to be cleared in a way that we're going to use air purifiers in clearing this methane. My dear speaker, I think you are not really understanding that case. We are saying that we are going to use renewable energy sources, right? But we are saying that we are going to use other sources of energy besides these renewable energy sources. Why? Because these renewable energy sources like wind, sun, and biomass, they are always not available. They might be there available, but they are not always constant. You can take, for example, countries like Alaska that receive 8 months of snow, but only 4 months of summer. So how are we going to help these other countries like Alaska? We are going to say that we are going to use other energy sources like the fossil fuel, the coal, and the petroleum. I also want to bring to your attention that when we are going to use these energy sources, there's going to be vast development in Uganda in a sense that oil is marketable. We already have crude oil existence in Albertine crab ring, that is in Uganda. That is why we're saying that Uganda can rely on other energy sources apart from these renewable energy sources and besides these renewable energy sources, because these resources already existing in Uganda. And we're saying why we want Uganda to use these renewable energy sources is that there's going to be economic benefit, there's going to be employment, there's going to be development of infrastructure. And you realize that when coal, according to the world statistics, coal is a very marketable oil that is worth millions of shillings. So you realize that when we're going to use coal, there's going to even be money that we're going to get from it and use it in the education sector. We're saying that we are very much aware of these effects, but we have the mitigation measures for them. My dear judges, audience, I want to say that we are basing our resolution on the what, why, and how. What is that we're going to use other energy sources besides these renewable energy sources. We're not saying that we're not going to use them, but we are going to use them. And then why we're using them is that we know that these renewable energy sources are not always available, right? That is why we want other energy sources to come in stock. We're also using them because there's going to be vast development for Uganda. Because when Uganda starts engaging in these oil management resources, there's going to be money, there's going to be employment. You realize that the standards of living of Ugandans is going to increase. It's not only going to be useful to Uganda. We know that renewable energy sources like wind turbines, yes, we know that they're already working, but they are liable to thunder strikes. They stand up tall. That means they are going to be affected by lightning at any time. That is why we're saying that we need other energy sources besides these wind turbines. And then we're saying energy security. Coal and gas provide renewable electricity, unlike we know that there's also solar energy where there's electricity, but this sun is not always constant. That is why we're saying we need coal and gas to be used when we're dealing with these cases. And then again, I want to bring to your attention that we already have Student Go Green app, whereby we're going to calculate our carbon emissions and see how we're going to cater for it in different ways. I already gave you the ways where we said we're going to use gas cylinders, we're going to use fire extinguishers and air purifiers. I want to bring to your attention that we know that these fossil fuels are going to run out eventually. That is why we're also saying that besides them, we're going to use renewable energy. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear audience, I rest my case.
The chief guest, the delegates around, schools around, good afternoon.
In front of you is the second speaker from the negative side or the opposite side. As my former speaker is from saying that coal, it gives about million, or is worth about million. My speaker to tell you that coal is worth $1 million, but do you know that it has the highest carbon rate in it? Since you say that you know that you have carbon capture whatever machines, to tell you this, as you see our Uganda here, the country which is not even that developed is still developing country. As you can see on our coat of arms, even the crested crane is still putting the what? The feet forward, showing that the country is still developing. Can you give an example of where those machines are found in our country of Uganda that will be helpful in capturing that what the carbon is the atmosphere? Secondly, you talked of this coal giving employment activities to people. Don't you tell me that there are very many employment activities in the sector of solar energy? Can't you see that you are lying to us there? Yet the whole of this country of Uganda, most of the plants we are using solar energy. Not to waste my time there, let me talk of how these things, how we can use the renewable resources than those other resources. Just to give you an example, just recently, yesterday, if you are really updated, along the Kampala-Gulu highway, there was a car truck, that one of fuel. It exploited and 11 lives of people were claimed. Are you even aware of that, my speaker? So that one is all the impacts of those other sources of what? Of energy. To talk on my side, these pollutants, these sources, they act as pollutants. To take, for example, coal. If you are to define coal, do you know what coal is? If I'm to explain to you, I will even waste hours here. This coal has a lot of carbon emissions in it, and once it's burnt to produce that energy, it always emits a lot of gases in the atmosphere. Of where I told you that our country is still developing, we cannot manage to capture these gases. Let me talk of using the renewable resources. These renewable resources we have, for example, we have charcoal. To take an example, these days, as I told you, youth are innovative. They can use charcoal dust to make charcoal briquettes, and these charcoal briquettes are not of emission to our atmosphere. So if you can tell me that sun won't be there or whatever, charcoal dust is always reused to make. Okay, you are allowed.
Are you aware that these charcoal briquettes are going to burn in stoves and still pollute the environment?
Actually, to my experience, I'm telling you, to my experience, I used this charcoal, and I never saw anything like emission, because even when in the laboratory we were using it, no emission was there. So you can't prove me that you also used this thing. Yet even I made them by myself, and I discovered and I knew how it is used, the dangers it has, and I have found no danger was there. So you cannot tell me that these things will also burn and emit the environment. So with this, you talked of that this solar energy is always not dependent. Do you know that the non-renewable sources are of varieties? Know that every time people will be relying on the solar energy. So for your own information, there are very many types of non-renewable resources. So without wasting my time, I would like to stop here for God and my country.
I began my debate at C. A, B, C. As the mother cow chews its grass, the young ones watch closely to see how it's done. That's why our team negators are not able to understand this solution. They are telling us more of these carbon emissions. But again, my dear judges, we're able to bring their attention how we're mitigating this. We're able to tell them of the air purifiers that we already have. We're able to tell them of the student go green apps that we have, and they are unable to rebut this point. But then again, my dear judges, they were talking of how we are not able to mention where these resources are found, and that my speakers are able to talk of the Albertine region. They were talking of how there is a lot of employment in the solar energy sector, and they were rebutting our point of development. But my dear speakers, are you aware that we used to have the sun even long before we discovered oil, but then there was no development in Albertine region? But my speakers were able to bring to them the economic facts that we have. Oil and gas reserves can generate significant revenue for Uganda. That's why my second speaker was able to bring to attention the fact that coal is worth millions of dollars. When we convert this into shillings, where is Uganda heading? That's why we're going to bring a lot of development in our country, Uganda. Then again, we're able to bring to their point that there's energy security. We don't want cases whereby you'll be wanting to travel at night, then you're using a bus whereby you have to use solar energy. They are majorly basing their arguments on solar energy. We don't understand why, but we're able to narrow our arguments on the fact that we're going to use coal, gas, and other sources of energy. But then again, my dear speakers were continuously rebutting our points, talking of carbon emissions. My dear judges, I would like to repeat this by saying that we were able to bring mitigations. We are aware these things have their own wrongdoings, they have their own challenges. You are talking of how charcoal dust does not have its own problems, but are you aware that for you to cook something, there needs to be heat energy? And this heat energy cannot occur when there is no heat produced. And when this heat is produced, obviously there's going to be other challenges that we shall face. That's why we're telling you that we are not saying that we're not going to use this renewable energy. No, we're just saying that we are going to use it, yes, but we shall rely on other sources of energy. That's why the cases of coal, gas, and the rest coming. We're able to tell that we're going to use this in a way that we shall pack this into gas cylinders. We shall use them. We shall purify this air. And that is how my speaker was able to tell you that this renewable energy, they are not reliable. But you'll find out that these other sources of energy, for example, the petroleum that we talked about, I don't think we have had a day whereby a bus is moving or a car is moving, then it eventually stops running because it's using solar energy or what at night, then there's nothing that you can use for moving. But when you're using petroleum, when you are out of fuel, you can just go to a nearby petrol station, load your car, and continue the journey. We don't want cases where you shall be able to stop on the way and do nothing. Again, back to this point of infrastructure development, I'd like to take you back to the fact that revenue from oil and gas can fund infrastructure projects. That's why you can see right now in Uganda, in the Albertine region, you will see that Hoima is a very developed place nowadays. That's not how Hoima was. And that in Hoima we used to use solar energy, and then by then this petroleum that we're talking of was not yet discovered. Then it will come to our realization that these carbon foot emission calculators that my speakers were talking about, they'll be able to tell us the amount of emission, the amount of methane that we're releasing and how we're supposed to mitigate this. That's why we're able to tell that we already have mitigations for these challenges. We have the challenges, but my dear judges, they're not able to mention to us the challenges that they're talking about. We're able to mention them the challenges, and we are able to mitigate this. That's why we're saying that we shall use the renewable energy they're talking about, but again, we want to rely on other sources of energy. We're not saying that the renewable energy is bad, no, but we're saying that it has its own challenges, the same as other sources of energy. That's why we shall rely on them, but at the same time use renewable energy. I rest my case.
Our judges, the delegations around, the audience, and everyone around, good afternoon. Our first, I'm the third speaker from the opposition side. I'll first begin by our resolution is telling us, can Uganda rely on other energy resources other than renewable energy? As I stand here, I stand to oppose, saying that Uganda cannot rely on other energy resources other than renewable. One thing here, the proposition side came here talking, and they're talking about bringing other non-renewable sources, of which, they know the dangers, they're bringing us the dangers, and of which they're talking of mitigation methods, but they're forgetting that we are actually working out things to help our country, Uganda. They're forgetting the country they're in. We are in a developing country like Uganda, of which affording those things alone, the resources we are going to put in affording things that will help us mitigate these methods could be transferred to other sectors, to develop other sectors, other than just, first of all, when we are solving things, we have to first remember, we have to first know where we come from. So,
as opposers, we know that we are from Uganda, a developing country, of which the money we would use, the resources we would use, we would put in order to cater for the mitigation of all those you've talked about, would rather go to other sectors, to develop other sectors. And there is one thing that the proposers are forgetting. They're thinking that when we talk about renewable resources, their mind is only set on solar energy. They're forgetting that we have other renewable energy sources apart from solar energy. We have actually multiple. Wind is also renewable energy source. We have also air, we have other sources. In that case, and they talk of solar energy, and when they talk of solar energies, for them they think it only needs solar panels, batteries. But what we are bringing here, solar energy does not need to only work when we have those. It's actually a cheaper method here. We have and energy cannot only work in one way. Let us bring a point of, like, in fishing sectors, we have to dry fish and so forth. We would use solar energy to dry them. And that is actually a cheap method. We do not need something of, like, we do not need your non-renewable energy sources that will actually pollute for us the gas we take in industry to dry them and so forth. We don't need that. Let me go back and rebuild on the points we brought forth. The first one was renewable energy is actually healthier. As we all know, renewable energy is healthier. Actually, most of us here have lived in environments, have lived in homes where we use solar energy. Compared to other sources, these sources are actually so dangerous to our health. Let us take, for instance, in industries, perhaps where they use things like petroleum. These things are later disposed to our water bodies. That will even, at some point, go and kill the fish, the aquatic life under the water bodies, leading to eutrophication and so forth, leading to the destruction of our environment. Let's go to renewable energy is actually cheaper. My other opposer came and talked about the cheapness of renewable energy. Renewable energy is actually a very cheap source. Who has in history ever heard of something like maybe the sun has gone, maybe it's disappeared, or we never had the sun at some point? It was around from generations to come, maybe, unless or else you had it in your myths or perhaps storybooks. Otherwise, we have the sun from generation, from actually when the earth occurred, should I say that? But that's why it's even cheap here. The only thing you need is buying a solar panel, maybe a battery, which will take you actually for a long time. They're talking of maybe the solar energy. Not everyone can afford batteries, but it is cheaper compared to the non-renewable energies, where you have to go. If you're using maybe paraffin for lighting your house, every day you have to be going to the market to buy paraffin. What is that? You buy your solar, you buy your battery, it can stay for you home, it stays for years, and that makes it cheap. Other sources like non-renewable, they contribute to climate change and pollution. Thank you. I rest my case.
Okay, thank you very much for the debate. So we'll go to the reply speeches, and we'll have the opposition reply speech first. You have 2 minutes. We do not raise POIs in the reply speech.
Thank you so much. I would like to summarize what we talked of. First of all, we talked of renewable resources being healthier. Secondly, we talked of them being cheaper. We talked of other non-renewable resources which contribute to climate change due to the process of pollution, hence emitting the ozone layer and causing global warming, hence climate change. We talked of that renewable sources are sustainable, and Jesus was born, it was also there. We talked of how these tanks can do exploit, like that one which exploit yesterday along the Kampala-Gulu highway. And then they talked of the electricity, which was accounted 67.4 in 2020, and that reference was states under the Ministry of Energy. And my judges, with all these points we gave, we strongly believe that if Uganda used renewable sources more than relying on other non-renewable sources, our country will develop soon, and we should all stay in a green and safe environment. I submit here. Thank you so much.
Still, second speaker from the affirmative side. Throughout the debate, we based our arguments on the what, why, and how. We are able to tell the house the energy sources like the fossil fuels, the coal, and the petroleum. We are able to tell you why we want Uganda to use these other energy sources besides the renewable energy. It looks like the team negators never really understood this resolution, because we are saying that yes, we are going to use other renewable energy sources, but besides them, we want to use other energy sources like the ones I've mentioned above. We said Uganda should use this because of economic boosts, because there are going to be employment opportunities, infrastructure development, and my dear judge, I would like to also bring to your attention that the third speaker from the negator side was only basing their arguments on fishing, bringing new arguments into the debate. So I really like to say that our points are not really rebutted, because they are talking about sustainability, yet my third speaker, Faith Sherry, had said that what if these cars break down at night? They were unable to account for this, and they were also saying that they don't want to rely on other energy sources, but we are saying that we want to rely on these renewable energy sources, but also other energy sources. They talked about coal emitting too many carbon dioxide amounts into the atmosphere, yet we are able to give them mitigation methods. We brought to their attention things like Student Go Green, calculating of our carbon emissions, and storing this carbon dioxide in gas cylinders and fire extinguishers. We're also able to tell them places where other energy sources are located. We gave them an example of Albertine region, which they were unable to account of. When we gave an example of how these wind turbines can be affected by lightning, they never talked anything about them. They were unable to rebut this point. I also want to bring to your attention, when we say that money from these energy sources can be used in the education sector, they never really lamented on that. My dear ladies and gentlemen, I also want to bring attention to the fact that they say that they're going to use solar panels, right? And then when we pose them a question that these solar panels are going to be dumped afterwards, they never accounted for it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the amazing debate. It was great. I am sure at least everyone in the audience has learned something. Debaters, you will kindly shake hands. The judges will go out to deliberate, and the results will be coming through as they announce who proceeds to the finals. Okay, wish the best to the people that will go to the finals, and that is it from us. Okay. MC.
Wow, that was amazing. Conversations have been brought up by young people, and I hope you who are here, you had a good time. You learned something, because this is a global conversation. It does not stop here. It's not only for West Nile. It's a global issue. Climate is a global issue. And that's why we brought out our young people to be the one to forefront this conversation. And I think all of us who are here, we have learned something, one or two. Can I have a few people who can say what they learned? One person or two who can say something they have learned from this debate. We do not want to care whether you were supporting the opposers or proposers. We just want to see what you have learned from this debate. It has been very informative. The young people have given up their views, and we have seen what the young people think when it comes to climate. For now, we are letting the judges do their work, and for the meantime, you can be thinking about what has transpired today and right now during this debate tournament. This is the semi-finals, and after some time, we shall go in for the finals, and may the best district or team win. We wish you a lovely time here.
Boys, are we ready? So we are going to do a very small exercise just to warm up our bodies, okay? Can we all stand up? Just very brief, and then we can sit down and continue. Are we ready to warm up? We are going to shake a bit, okay? So we are going to do this nursery song that goes, elephant, elephant, come to the bus. Just where you are. Then say no, no. Most of us are from nursery. We say no, no, no. Why? Because I'm too big and the bus is too small. Then shake body. Okay, are we ready? Do we all know the song? Those ones who are not going to do it are going to join me here. Can we go? 1, 2, we are going to start. Elephant, elephant, come to the bus. No, no, no. Why? Because I'm too big and the bus is too small. Shake body. The men are not shaking. I am calling the men to come and join us. Are we shaking? Are we shaking? Okay, can we put some energy? And the bus is too small. Shake body, shake body. Are we shaking? Who is not shaking? Baby, are you shaking? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. You can have a seat as we wait for our judges to come in. As we keep relaxing, you can talk to your neighbor. Did you know your friend today? Do you know who is next to you? How many people remembers the neighbors? Can we talk to each other, please? Do you remember your neighbor? Do you know where she is coming from? Oh, you are just here. Such spaces, by the way, let us take it serious. In such space, we need to learn. Such spaces, we need to network. You don't know where tomorrow a friend can call you for another opportunity. Please, from these spaces, wherever you move to a space, let us all learn from each other. Make friends. Go out with contacts. Do not undermine such spaces. Are we together? Are we okay? My dear girls. No, me, I am from Muni Girls. Now the Defes are already seeing me with another eye. Why are the Umbatians? They are not here. Our sisters from Nebi, are we there? Are we there? Oh, the yes is not enough. Pakwach, are we there? Are we there? You're not defending Pakwach for me. I don't want. Tarantino, are we there? Tarantinos are really there. They are there for us. Thank you so much for coming. We are so proud to host you people today in Arua. We are grateful. We are so proud of you all ladies for the great work people are doing in your different schools. We are so happy. I think in some few minutes to come, the judges are going to move in as we can start the next round. So we have good news. We have good news. Are you ready? Are you ready for the good news? Our good news is our breakfast is ready. So, people were hungry. So we are going to move right behind. Just use the right side, or you can even use this left side. You go up and take our breakfast. Please, let's do this. At least in 30 minutes time, we should be able to move in. Let's keep time and come in. Thank you so much. We are going to bless the tea. Then we can go and take. So let us humble ourselves and we pray. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, bless us, O Lord, and this is your gifts which you are about to receive from your goodness through Christ our Lord. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Thank you so much. Let's move and take our breakfast, and then we come back time.
Towards the participatory community engagements, for example, that have been in line with the
public health related initiatives?
During my internship, my third-year internship, I did research in Luwuka, one of the districts in the eastern region of the country, and most of these children had a challenge of how to manage their menstruations, especially, of course, the girls. And because of the information I'd gotten, I was able to train them on how to handle things like cramps, things like spotting, and how to use reusable pads, as well as try to teach the boys not to discriminate against the girls.
SRHR on a personal basis also help people appreciate my body more, in society. And by the time I had the training, I was at university. University comes with a lot of pressure on the, most especially on the girl child. To make matters worse, social media has this perfect picture of a girl. You have to be thin, you have to be tall. Now here we are in a society whereby the plus size people who don't feel comfortable under their skin, they don't love their bodies. But with the training, I got to appreciate my body more, and I make sure that whoever I talk to, whoever I reach out to, I help them understand their bodies more and appreciate their bodies more, because God gave you a nose. It's beautiful, it's not ugly, your eyes are nice, your shoulders are good. We need to learn to appreciate our bodies, and through appreciating our bodies, the only way we can be confident, it's the only way we can come out and communicate effectively. It's the only way we can be able to live within society without these different barriers hindering us from unlocking our potential, achieving what we want.
Each and every day we learn different things. There are so many things we think we know about our bodies and we don't. Then it helped me see things from a whole different perspective, especially about reproduction, childbirth, the things that can happen, how to handle cramps.
The bring for a gynecologist at a Mempro, where you pay a lot of money to meet in the hospital, and this person is well experienced. I remember they were teaching about sick days, they teach about the menstruation, and so this girl who said to me, let me go there and I see. In fact, that the first day has inspired her to attend the second day.
I realized how this information is lacking to the general public. So many people do not know about SRHR, and I feel like this should be known by everyone. And so my personal goal after the SRHR training is to bring the information about sexual and reproductive health closer to my colleagues, and the best place to start would be at the university.
And then the SRHR training has really helped because I can notice the body changes, my body changes, and also notice when medical attention is needed that I couldn't do before the training.
Dr. Jenny taught us how to check ourselves to discover if we have breast lumps, which really helped me because I remember I used to feel a sharp pain in my breast, and I was like, this is weird, this is not normal. And as I applied what Dr. Ajeni taught us, I was able to discover that I had a breast lump, which I was unaware of. And that's how I survived breast cancer, and I was able to go for treatment, all because of Mempro.
I've loved to see that the young girls come back and appreciate the knowledge you shared with them, and they also love to share with others that are facing the same problem. So I thank Mempro for that, and I thank them so much for that knowledge that they shared with us, which we are able to extend to others.
Personally, this is one of the most brilliant and educative programs or boot camps I have been to. I have to congratulate the team and give them their flowers. Some of these rights we are not aware of, but at the boot camp this was delivered so well, and we got to know what to do with our bodies, the rights we deserve regarding our bodies, and how best we can exercise them. At the camp, it was so beautiful. First of all, the environment was so beautiful, and the services were so good. The meals, the facilitators, oh God, flowers to Lillian, this was one of the best.
The trainings I attended helped me to develop strategic partnerships, and which has also helped me to strengthen my ability to cooperate with other organizations, especially related in SRHR. I'm so happy that I was one of those people that I've given a chance to have these trainings. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I thank the Pro. I also thank AJWS for the camp. It was so educative.
Hearing them say, some of them are saying, from the trainings I got the courage to walk out of a very violent relationship. From the trainings I got a courage to actually mobilize and create initiatives. Yes, some of them are found as of now, other smaller organizations that are growing. And yeah, those are very proud moments for me.
My name is Ayurith Annette from Kanyanye Lower, Mukale Parish in Pakwach Sub-County. Previously, I was shy and never used to speak in public, but attending the training by Mempra in Kalalo built my confidence, and now I can freely speak during meetings and gatherings. I feel my leadership skills have grown from that time I was engaged. From the training, I also learned my SRH rights, especially when it comes to getting pregnant, how I should look after myself. I also learned about abortion. When I returned, I realized my cousin was pregnant and she attempted to commit abortion, but I supported her to go to the hospital and the baby was saved, and now the baby is big and healthy. After the training, I also started engaging with a group of girls and women, about 5 to 6 per meeting. Sometimes we would engage while going to fetch water. I also told them to always go to the hospital when they realize they are pregnant, and to attend antenatal services, and to take supplementing medicines given to them from the hospital. To avoid self-abortion, as it is risky and may cause their lives. I have grown over the times and will continue engaging with my fellow girls and women. Although sometimes I face resistance, I will not stop because I know some people are benefiting from what I am telling them. However, I feel like having an identification in form of a t-shirt or reflector to identify myself as a peer educator trained by Mentor would grant me more acceptance in how they look at me while engaging with them.
I could live in the West, Achego Parish, Panyango Sub-County, Pakwach District.
My name is Kisaparuth Brenda from Kinjo West Village, Pachego Parish, Panyango Sub-County. I want to thank Mempro for all the good things Mempro has done for us through the training. Then I did not know nor have plans for my future because I dropped out of school, as we were many children, 12, and my parents could not support us all to keep in school, so I had to drop out. Later, I became pregnant, but the person responsible could not support me because we were all young. So I got a chance to attend the training, and we were told if we have a chance to go back to school, we should. And when I returned, I had to talk to my parents for a second chance, but they told me that they have limited resources. However, they pointed out opportunities in tailoring and hairdressing. So later, I did tailoring and I'm now doing business and I'm better now. I don't think about men as a source of money or support. I have been engaging with other young women in the community in terms of forming a savings group, and we make sanitary pads. I still thank MEMPRO for offering me this platform with knowledge to survive on my own. My plan in future is to upgrade in tailoring, and I know there are many opportunities that keep coming even with the NGOs. I want to encourage that other girls also be given a chance to attend such training so that they can also benefit as well. Adding on the pads initiative, before, mothers used to use small pieces of clothes, but over time, things have changed. An example is the use of sanitary pads, which I have been training other girls on how to make. The materials we use are good enough to enable the girls go by their normal day while in their menses. My name is Chikawun Charity from Mokale Parish. From the money I received from MEMPRO, I bought 3 goats, and this is what has sustained me ever since. I am currently doing business of fish. Ever since I got engaged in MEMPRO program in 2018, I am financially stable and able to pay fees for my children at school and also take care of myself. I used to be small, but now look at my body. The money I get is what I use for supporting my mother and my family. The profits I get depend on how the market is, from between 30,000 to 120,000 Ugandan shillings. I also use the goats to add up on my capital when I notice a low trend. I always encourage the other girls to respect their parents, listen and follow their advice. From the training, I learned how to live with the neighbors and everyone at home, and the people also appreciate my behavior.
I'm still a young girl. I work at MEMPRO as the program officer under the program of ending child marriage and early union. This project is based in Nebi district. It's in 2 sub-counties of Nebi sub-county and Bull sub-county. And yeah, its major goal is to empower young women to become self-reliant. And our focus is on the child mothers.
My name is Ayureth Jessica. I am in Senior 3 in Nebi. MEMPRO called me as one of the child mothers to benefit from their training and empowerment programs for child mothers in Nebi. After a series of trainings on social survival, I decided that I needed to go back to school and resume my studies. I got pregnant early, and that was a big challenge. But now that I have resumed school, I find life is easy, and even the challenges I used to find at home, including name calling and insults from home and relatives. My call is to all those girls who dropped out of school and yet your parents are supportive. Please return to school because education is very important. To girls who are marrying at a young age, please focus on resume school and don't misbehave like you did before.
So we've been engaging them in several activities, trainings, and empowering them economically. And yeah, Jessica is just one of those stories that we shall be recording. She's a child mother, who returned to school. This project has helped many families to reunite. It has also given a second chance to many child mothers. Some of them have had second chances to go back to school. Under this cohort, we have about 4 child mothers who have returned to school. We have 2 in secondary and then 2 in primary school.
My name is Amito Clarice. I come from Pajao Lower. The benefit I got from MEMPRO was that it helped me belong to a group. Previously, I did not see the need to be in groups, but after attending the training, we formed groups and now we do savings, of which I started business of local brew to sustain my income. At the end of the year, I intend to buy a goat out of the money I am currently saving. As Rovia, previously I used not to listen to anyone at home when being advised, but after the training in Kalalo, I felt I needed to do better, and I had to sit down with my 2 brothers on my turn. From our discussion, they also appreciated the training I had been attending by MEMPRO, and now we sit, plan and work together, and my mother is also happy with me. In future, I intend to buy a pig since I know it multiplies fast. My name is Cynthia Afoyoroth from Pajao Lower. The benefit I got from MEMPRO is me starting my own business and being able to join a saving group with the other girls I attended the training with. My name is Mabenga Lucky from Makale village. The benefit I brought home was returning to start my own business of frying cassava and selling tomatoes. Making my own money empowered me to start saving, and I know my future will be better. Previously, I did not know how to do business, and many times I went to boys or men when I had my needs of money. But as I attended the training, I learned how to survive on my own and provide for myself without going to men or boys, and that is how I started my own business. My name is Abediros Gloria. MEMPRO trained me in 2018 and I benefited a lot, including learning how to do business. My self-confidence was built as a result of the engagement I attended. I started speaking in public, which I have continued up to now. From the knowledge I acquired, I started doing a business of brewing alcohol, anywhere, and fish. I also joined a saving group which have moved on with to date. My life has improved greatly compared with all the times before the training. I also shared my knowledge with some of the girls and young women. However, sometimes I face resistance as they claim I benefited from the program, so I should not engage them. However, I always encourage them to see and use that example of how we are living now to benefit them as well. I am grateful I had a chance to attend the training back then, as I have never looked back.
An nyinga jilunga yuro maso dongo. Ber manongo.
My name is Ayureth Masi Odungu. The benefit I got from training is knowing my rights as a girl and learned developing self-confidence to defend my rights. I also learned how you realize that you are pregnant, like some of the signs include missed periods, passing of urine frequently, change in dietary needs, changes in body, amongst others. I also learned the effect of abortion, and on return, I learned that I had a neighbor whose daughter had become pregnant and they were planning on an abortion with a mother. I visited them and had a conversation with them about the dangers and negative side effects of abortion, which include severe bleeding and loss of lives, and they appreciated and the girl had the baby. I also learned about family planning and the different types used, especially the moon bead, abstinence, use of condoms and use of contraceptives. An example is when I advised one of the young women to go to the health center to seek for family planning services, and in case of any side effect from the method, I advise that she goes back to the health facility, and I'm also using one. In future, I want to be self-reliant on my savings, and I want to invest in things that will improve on my well-being as an individual.
I live Pamito Village, Attack Parish, Papa Sub-County.
My name is Amito Nancy from Pamito Village, Atiak Parish in Pakwach Sub-County. The first benefit I got from Mempro is on savings. Previously, I did not know the importance of savings and how it is done. So, when I returned, I decided to join a savings group. Also, from the several sessions, I picked up on how to take care of myself and my personal hygiene, especially during menstruation. When I returned, I also started engaging with young girls, those already getting their menses and those who have not yet started, to encourage them and to tell them not to fear when their menses come, but to know that it's a normal change which happens in all women between the ages of 12 to 50 years. I taught them how to take care of their personal hygiene, which includes use of pads and bathing while in their periods. I also learned about family planning services for women who are already with children and to allow them take care of their babies to grow healthy and give proper care. I also learned that when pregnant, one should desist from taking on abortion as it places the lives of both the mother and child in danger. I also received appreciation from a woman who used to conceive every 2 months after birth because her husband would not let her accept to use family. After I talked to her, she went into a facility and started using and appreciated that at least the baby she had then was growing better than the previous babies, who she did not wean well as a result of another pregnancy. Also, the young girls who received their menses after her engagement appreciated that they were more prepared to receive it the first time as they prepared with pads. The challenge I got from the beginning was some people did not believe in me, but later the first lot who attended gave positive feedback and they later came into the next sitting. Another challenge was on handout of pads, which the girls asked while I engaged with them, yet I only had a sample to train them on how to use them. My name is Pimerpa Mongo Priska, Pajau Lower, and Pimerpa Mongo Topista from Pajau Upper. Before the training, I, Topista, had limited knowledge on family planning, especially from the myths which used to come from what my friends would be telling me, that it has adverse side effects, and it scared me. But after that training, I realized that when the right health worker supports its use, you are safer. So I wanted to put it on return, but my mother advised me not to because I'm not currently living with my husband. I have also been engaging with my fellow girls in my community to know the effect of engaging in early unprotected sex, which includes getting early pregnancies. I always meet about 5 to 6 girls in a meeting after lunch. Before, the challenge was of them doubting the information, but now they are appreciating the information shared, and some girls who attend the training with us also dropped out, but I have persisted on passing the information because I know one day Mempro would follow up. My name is Sharon Benjamin from Pacher, Ajengra Village, Padoch Parish. I had a chance to attend the training on how I should take care of myself as a woman, and we were asked not to keep it to ourselves, but to take it out. From the training, I got knowledge on how to make sanitary towels, savings, and how to do business. When I came back, I started engaging with young women and girls in the community, including child mothers up to 28 years who embraced the training. I mainly engaged and trained them on how to make reusable sanitary pads, how to do business, because many child mothers would be stuck without any support. Yet from the training, I realized that one can start business to support her needs and that of the baby. I got questions on how to get the materials to make the pads. So many times we volunteered to collect money to buy the materials like kavera and cotton to use, and also getting the right material to use has been challenging, as the one they train with is not so good. Some of the girls started skilling in tailoring and hairdressing, but also lacked materials to support their training. Currently, we are about 50 girls and women from the age of 14 to 28 years. Out of the training, we choose to do a training in sanitary pads and business because we felt there are many young girls who do not know what pads are and have never had a chance to have access to pads. We also thought about business because that's what we could easily do in order to earn incomes to provide the basics.
The trainings have helped me towards the participatory community engagements, for example, that have been in line with the public health related initiatives.
During my internship, my third year internship, I did research in Luwuka, one of the districts in the eastern region of the country, and most of these children had a challenge of how to manage their menstruations, especially, of course, the girls. And because of the information I'd gotten, I was able to train them on how to handle things like cramps, things like spotting, and how to use reusable pads, as well as try to teach the boys not to discriminate against the girls.
SRHR on a personal basis also help people appreciate my body more, in society. And by the time I had the training, I was at university. University comes with a lot of pressure, most especially on the girls' child. To make matters worse, social media has this perfect picture of a girl. You have to be thin, you have to be tall. Now here we are in a society whereby the plus size people who don't feel comfortable under their skin, they don't love their bodies. But with the training, I got to appreciate my body more. And I make sure that whoever I talk to, whoever I reach out to, I help them understand their bodies more and appreciate their bodies more, because God gave you a nose, beautiful, it's not ugly, your eyes are nice, your shoulders are good. You know, we need to learn to appreciate our bodies, and through appreciating our bodies, the only way we can be confident, it's the only way we can come out and communicate effectively. It's the only way we can be able to live within society without these different barriers hindering us from unlocking our potential, achieving what we want.
Each and every day we learn different things. There are so many things we think we know about our bodies and we don't. Then it helped me see things from a whole different perspective, especially about reproduction, childbirth, the things that can happen, how to handle cramps.
The bring for a gynecologist at a Mempro, where you pay a lot of money to meet in the hospital, and this person is well experienced. I remember they were teaching about safe days, they teach about the menstruation. And so this girl who said to me, let me go there, and I see in fact that the first day has inspired her to attend the second day.
I realized how this information is lacking to the general public. So many people do not know about SRHR, and I feel like this should be known by everyone. And so my personal goal after the SRHR training is to bring the information about sexual and reproductive health closer to my colleagues, and the best place to start would be at the university.
And then the SRHR training has really helped because I can notice the body changes, my body changes, and also notice when medical attention is needed that I couldn't do before the training.
Dr. Jenny taught us how to check ourselves to discover if we have breast lumps, which really helped me because I remember I used to feel a sharp pain in my breast, and I was like, this is weird, this is not normal. And as I applied what Dr. Jenny taught us, I was able to discover that I had a breast lump, which I was unaware of. And that's how I survived breast cancer, and I was able to go for treatment all because of Mempro.
I've loved to see that the young girls come back and appreciate the knowledge you shared with them, and they also love to share with others that are facing the same problem. So I thank Mempro for that, and I thank them so much for that knowledge that they shared with us, which we are able to extend to others.
Personally, this is one of the most brilliant educative programs or bootcamps I have been to. I have to congratulate the team and give them their flowers. Some of these rights we are not aware of, but at the bootcamp, this was delivered so well.
Hello, welcome back from breakfast. Some energy, guys. You're young. Why are you all sad? Yet you're from taking milk. By the milk is my best thing. So when I take milk, I become more lively. So once again, my name is Priska. For those that were not here by the time I introduced myself, I'm going to again congratulate our participants upon finishing the last round. I don't think I want to waste any more time, so we are going to go into the next round. Now, okay, so for this next round of debate, I think in preparation for our final, which will happen later on in the day, we are going to have a next round of debate. And Just give me a minute. I'm trying to.
My name is Ayureth Annette from Kanyanyeloa, Mukale Parish in Pakwach Sub-County. Previously, I was shy and never used to speak in public, but attending the training by Mempro in Kalalo built my confidence, and now I can freely speak during meetings and gatherings. I feel my leadership skills have grown from that time I was engaged. From the training, I also learned my SRH rights, especially when it comes to getting pregnant, how I should look after myself. I also learned about abortion. When I returned, I realized my cousin was pregnant and
to resort to farming methods that resist climate change. That means that they are falling into the place where they accept that we need new farming methods to ensure that we have food in our communities. Yeah? Is that understandable now? Let me have the debaters stand up, because I don't want to seem like I'm speaking to everyone, yet I want the debaters to understand me. Very quickly, proactiveness. Debaters, do you understand the motion I've just given you? Yes? Can I hear a very big yes? You understand it? Who said no? Do you need, can you say where you need clarity? Or you want me to explain it? So the motion goes, this House will ensure farming methods that this House will ensure farming methods that resist climate change, ensure we have enough food. Now, in this motion, what the motion is trying to say is that if we are going to have farming methods that we have in the status quo, then the government should ensure that we have enough food, yeah? But if we are to get farming methods that resist climate change, then we should also ensure that, these farming methods will give us enough food, because then they are able to produce food in and out of season. You get me? Is it understandable now? Yeah? Resistant climate change methods, farming methods, ensure that we have enough food in and out of season, whether it's hot or cold, whether it's rainy or not. Yeah? Or I want you guys to ensure that you've understood the motion so that you don't reach here and then you debate different things. You've understood? Yes? Okay, that's the motion for the next round. And in room 2, Team Evelyn is going to be versing Team Vanessa. Let me see Team Evelyn and Vanessa. Vanessa Nakate and Evelyn, kindly make your way to the second room, which is right there. Which is right there. Go and take up your seats. And then in room 1, we're going to have Elizabeth and Leah. Come and take up your seats. Quick communication. I'm going to ask our teachers, patrons, to stay away from their students. This has been something that we have noticed. Teachers are corrupting what students could have said on their own. So you find a teacher is actually directing a student while they are debating and they're not delivering well. Stay away from them, let them prepare on their own. The best you can give them is your phones to use them for research, but don't stay near them. I don't want you to guide them. You've done enough as a patron, yeah? Patrons, stay in this room. And then participants, let's go to our respective rooms. Then the debate will start the debate is going to start at 11:35. That's 10 minutes from now. Thank you so much.
I'm still a young girl. I work at Memphis as the program officer under the program of ending child marriage and early union. This project is based in the district. It's in two sub-counties of Navy sub-county and Bull sub-county. And yeah, its major goal is to empower young women to become self-reliant. And our focus is on the child mothers.
My name is Ayureth Jessica. I am in senior 3 in Nebi. Member called me as one of the child mothers to benefit from their training and empowerment programs for child mothers in Nebi. After a series of trainings on social survival, I decided that I needed to go back to school and resume my studies. I got pregnant early, and that was a big challenge. But now that I have resumed school, I find life is easy, and even the challenges I used to find at home, including name calling and insults from home and relatives. My call is to all those girls who dropped out of school and yet your parents are supportive. Please return to school because education is very important. To girls who are marrying at a young age, please focus on resume school and don't misbehave like you did before.
So we've been engaging them in several activities, trainings, and empowering them economically. And yeah, Jessica is just one of those stories that we shall be recording. She's a child mother who returned to school. This project has helped many families to reunite. It has also given a second chance to many child mothers. Some of them have had second chances to go back to school. Under this cohort, we have about 4 child mothers who have returned to school. We have 2 in secondary and then 2 in primary school.
My name is Chikawun Charity from Mukale Parish. From the money I received from Mempro, I bought 3 goats, and this is what has sustained me ever since. I am currently doing business of fish. Ever since I got engaged in Mempro program in 2018, I am financially stable and able to pay fees for my children at school and also take care of myself. I used to be small, but now look at my body. The money I get is what I use for supporting my mother and my family. The profits I get depend on how the market is, from between 30,000 to 120,000 Ugandan shillings. I also use the goats to add up on my capital when I notice a low trend. I always encourage the other girls to respect their parents, listen and follow their advice. From the training, I learned how to live with the neighbors and everyone at home, and the people also appreciate my behavior.
I could live in the West, Katego Parish, Panyango Sub-County, Pakwai District.
My name is Kisaparoth Brenda from Kinjo West Village, Pachego Parish, Panyango Sub-County. I want to thank Mempro for all the good things Mempro has done for us through the training. Then I did not know nor have plans for my future because I dropped out of school.
Last minute is protected time. You can only ask POIs in the second minute. Is that understood?
I'll signal my hand when the first minute ends, and I'll do the same when at the end of the second minute. Thank you.
My name is Ayurith Annette from Kanyanye Lower, Mukale Parish in Pakwach Sub-County. Previously, I was shy and never used to speak in public, but attending the training by Mempro in Kalalo built my confidence, and now I can freely speak during meetings and gatherings. I feel my leadership skills have grown from that time I was engaged. From the training, I also learned my SRH rights, especially when it comes to getting pregnant, how I should look after myself. I also learned about abortion. When I returned, I realized my cousin was pregnant and she attempted to commit abortion, but I supported her to go to the hospital and the baby was saved, and now the baby is big and healthy. After the training, I also started engaging with a group of girls and women, about 5 to 6 per meeting. Sometimes we would engage while going to fetch water. I also told them to always go to the hospital when they realize they are pregnant, and to attend antenatal services, and to take supplementing medicines given to them from the hospital. To avoid self-abortion, as it is risky and may cause their lives. I have grown over the times and will continue engaging with my fellow girls and women. Although sometimes I face resistance, I will not stop because I know some people are benefiting from what I am telling them. However, I feel like having an identification in form of a t-shirt or reflector to identify myself as a peer educator trained by Mentor would grant me more acceptance in how they look at me while engaging with them. My name is Ayurith Annette from Kanyanye Lower, Clarice Pajao Lower. The benefit I got from member group. Previously, I did not see the need to be in groups, but after attending the training, formed groups, and now we do savings, of which I started business of local brew to sustain my income. At the end of the year, I to buy a goat out of the money I am currently saving. As Rovia, previously I used not to listen to anyone advised, but after the training in Cal, I felt I needed to do better, and I had to sit down with my two brothers on my time. From our discussion, they also appreciated the training attending Emperor, and now we sit, plan, work, and my mother is also happy with me. In future, I intend to buy a pig since I know it multiplies fast. My name is Sharon Benjamin from Patch. Ajenga village, Padoch. I had a chance to attend the training on how I should take care of my sledge and how to make sanitary towels, savings, and how to do business. When I came engaging with young women and girls in the community, including child mothers.
Team Elizabeth, present her views here. Thank you.
Thank you. I recognize the presence of the judges, the audience, plus the two debating parties. Here also seeing me in front of you, I have come to propose the motion of today, written that this House will ensure that farming methods that resist climate change ensure we have food. Allow me define the keywords. Farming method. These are methods used during cultivation. Climate change. Climate change is a climatic impact. Our stethoscope is to get farming method that will improve the development of Uganda. Allow me talk about irrigation management. If this is taken to areas like Karamoja, there will be access to food even in that dry area that is thought of. Just because area like Karamoja, they're having this, what you call semi-desert, and there whether it is shining, still crops can be grown from there. And now here we are seeing when it is shining, our crops do not do well. You'll see crops dying when you're not getting something from the plants that you have planted. Our plants are dying. That's because there is no rainfall. But here, they are using farming methods like cultivation in order to make the plants grow well. But here it is less, and people do not use this type of method that is called cultivation method. So, as we're seeing that area like Karamoja, they're really doing something in order to make the plants grow well. So also as people of here, we are not using this type of method just because here people only know things like mulching. And this is not making the plants now to grow well. I advise the people of Uganda or the people of this area now should start using this method that is called cultivation in order to make our plants grow well, and we should get something well from the plants. My dear judges and respectable audience, I don't have much to say. Thanks.
Thank you very much, the first speaker from the proposition side, for your amazing views. May we have the first speaker from the opposition side present her views here.
For clarity, I raise my hand one to show you that the first minute has gone by. And then the second time I raise my hand is to let you know that you're remaining with 1 minute.
Resolution. This House will ensure that farming method that result climate change ensure we have enough food. Before I go further, I would like to explain the most keywords in the resolution. We have farming method. These are methods that can obtain through farming activities. My parameter is Uganda. Status, it has come to our mobile that farming method do not solve problems faster. So we need quick solving problems. Before I go, I would like to give some of the examples of farming method. Afforestation. Afforestation is the planting of trees in areas that they have never existed. Intercropping, irrigation farming method. My second speaker will come and educate you more about irrigation farming method. I beg to rest. Thanks.
Yes, thank you very much, the first speaker from the opposition side, for your amazing views. May we have the second speaker from the proposition side present her views here. Thank you.
The judges, delegates around, schools around, good afternoon. As my first speaker elaborated more and highlighted on our topic, I'll straight away go to these points. We have what we call precision agriculture. In this, it's application of precision and correct amount of inputs like water, fertilizers, pesticide, and others in the correct time to improve on the productivity of the crops. And if the government encourages and supports people in this farming method, it will help people to have enough food, though the climate change happens, because this method is resilient to climate change. Secondly, I'll advise the people to use to grow climate-tolerant crops. In this, you grow variety of crops of which some can sustain when there is sunshine and the other can sustain when there is a lot of water. For example, rice. In this, even if climate change keeps on occurring, at least on the other hand, we'll be having enough food to eat. Thirdly, I'll talk of the use of water reservoirs. In most cases, if it rains, people do not even care of collecting the water. But as we are in the modern world, we have septic tanks, and these tanks, the higher one, whereby water is collected, and in case if it stops raining, farmers can use that water for spraying on their crops, sustaining, and then the crops will keep growing and the productivity also increases, hence people remain having food. Thirdly, I'll talk of irrigation management. Here, in most cases, people do not consider this, but if we are in the sun season and we consider irrigation method, this is where they spray water on the crops in the dry seasons, and this will help in the increase of productivity in the crops, of where even if it shines and there is no rain, still the crops will sustain and there will be enough food for the people. With this, I would like to submit here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, the second speaker from the preposition side, for your amazing views. May we have the second speaker from the opposition side present their views here. Thank you.
Resolution. This House should ensure farming methods that are resistant to climate changes. I stand firm to disagree that this House should ensure farming methods that are resistant to climatic changes. I would like to talk about this motion under the following points of view. The farming methods are too backwards in a way that they take a long time to respond to the climatic changes. And also, they are backward in a way that they don't solve things faster or they don't respond to climatic changes. Farming methods cannot overcome the problem of climate changes. As soon as possible, the government will work. Let us take this as an example of landslides in Bududa. If they are to come up with farming methods such as afforestation, the trees will not respond faster, and they will also they will not grow as fast as the government wants. Let us take it as an example. If the government ensures farming methods which are resistant to climatic changes, and accidentally the landslides occur, the people will run away and go. The plants and trees which have been grown will be useless. I suggest the government should not ensure farming methods that are resistant to climatic changes. Instead, they should care for the people and develop the country. I beg to rest my case.
Thank you very much. Our second speaker. the opposition side for your amazing views. I want to advise us as you're debating, you should be checking on the site to see if anyone is raising their hands for the POIs, right? Yeah, so thank you very much for that. May we have the last or the third speaker from the preposition side present their views here. Thank you.
The judges, and all the adjudicators, the audience, good afternoon. I stand here as the proposer for the resolution that has been set before us that states, this House will ensure that farming methods that resist climate change ensure we have enough food. I come here as a proposer. I'll start from where the opposer stopped. She came here telling us that the farming methods are backward. She came and claimed they're backward, but then didn't tell us which farming method we could use that is not backward, or what we could do that seems to be maybe not backward to them. Of which this farming method that she calls backward really has a great positive impact in case it is applied. Let us take, for instance, afforestation that she stated that it would take long. But then it will take long, fine, we agree, but then it has a long-term benefit to the climate changes. Actually, when you plant trees, first of all, we know trees, they contribute to the formation of rain. They contribute to the rain cycle. So when trees are planted, we should not look at the short-term benefits. We should not look at only our generation. We have a generation in front of us that we also have to cater for. Let us say, for instance, our ancestors didn't cater for us. They thought maybe things like trees, let us cut all trees. Would we be really alive by now? Or let us say, for instance, they didn't manage all that plants well, they didn't manage things well, and everything went into extinct. Would we even come up like this? Let me build more walls to our point. Our fellow proposers came here and talked of precision agriculture. Precision agriculture, actually, it is precision. Actually, the word precision means being accurate. So here we are bringing about the point like we are going to do agriculture, but with the rightful methods. Methods like we are going to apply fertilizers. Here we mean, let us say, for instance, we are going to apply manure, which is organic, that will help our plants grow well. We bring things like irrigation, even during the dry seasons. You know, climatic change, it happens almost everywhere, and it is at some point, it is even an uncertain thing that happens. We never know what might happen tomorrow. So for these things, we should practice precision agriculture. The next is diversification, meaning if we are doing the planting, we do not have to only center on planting one thing. Maybe, let's say, we put maybe in a country, this country, okay, Uganda, this year we're only planting beans. That can't work. Let us do agriculture in a way that when we are planting, we don't only center on one thing. We might plant rice, we plant beans, we plant varieties. We plant the ones that might be resistant to rainfall, one that is resistant to the sunshine, and so forth. In order not to lose everything, in order to ensure that we have food at the very end, during time for harvest, at least we have food. Another one is the use of water reservoirs. Water reservoirs could actually be things like the water tanks and so forth, even the septic tanks built underground. So here I would implement such a thing in a way that we have water reservoirs, at least if you could have them per home. You collect water during the rainy season, preserving it for perhaps when the dry season comes, and you use that even for things like irrigation. And we could actually, I would want to apologize for my first proposer. She came and she was kind of being mistaken and saying cultivation, but what she meant actually was irrigation. So here we're talking about irrigation management, how we are going to manage
our agriculture using irrigation. You know, we might have sunshine in an area due to the incoherent climatic changes in different areas. What we would do is we bring forth things like irrigation. Irrigation is actually in different methods. We could even have the underground pipelines irrigation. With that, I would like to ask the opposers and the House at large to come and join hands with us, saying that this House will ensure that farming methods that resist climate change ensure we have enough food. Thank you. I beg to stop here.
Thank you very much, our last speaker from the preposition side, for your amazing views. May we have the last speaker from the opposition present her views here. Thank you.
My honorable judges, the worthy opponents, to my audience. Resolve, this House will ensure that farming methods that resist climate change ensure we have enough foods. Before I go further, allow me first to rebuttal on my precurrent speaker's speech. My second opponent came here speaking about mulching, that mulching destroys something of soil. But if you were to see, mulching is one of the farming methods that helps in improvement of soil fertility. So the way you came here and explained mulching, I don't think that you're supporting that farming methods are good. I don't think that you're saying that farming methods can ensure that we have enough food. Instead, the way you explained it is as if you said farming methods, especially you mentioned mulching, it destroys the soil. But I want you to come to your understanding that mulching helps in improvement of soil fertility. Allow me to rebuttal on crop-tolerant climate. My dear judges, if we are to introduce crops which are tolerant to climate, what about us people? Are we people also tolerant to climate? No, you might bring crops which are tolerant to climatic changes, but what about the people? Between people and a plant, which one is more important? Of course, we take it to be people. So even though you bring your farming methods, you might grow your trees, do everything you want. But if you don't cater for the people, how will that one work? So I'm still virgin to be asked. First wait, I'm still talking. So I want to advise you that let us first relocate those people. Excuse me, I'm still talking, land manners. Let me first talk about water reservoir. They were giving us examples. I'm still talking, and I'm already on my next point. Don't waste my time. Let me talk about water reservoirs. These people were giving us examples of tanks. What about the people who don't afford tanks, like us, the poor? Do you want to mean we can? I'm still young. Do you want to mean that us also we can afford the water reservoirs? You're meaning, obviously, I would encourage the government to ensure pipeline transport, which will supply at least water to everyone. Let me tell you, do you know that there are other crops, even though they do irrigation, but they can still not do well? So why doesn't the government ensure pipeline transport, which will help in transportation of water in these various crops? Don't you think we shall improve on our plant reproduction? Of course we shall improve, even if you agree or disagree. Allow me go straight to our needs. My precurrent speaker spoke about farming methods take long to respond. They take long to respond in such a way. Let us take an example whereby in 2010, landslide happened in the Bududa. Weren't there farming methods? Afforestation were there, everything was there, but still landslide happened. It simply means those are natural calamities that cannot be controlled by human beings. It is something which happens according to God's wills. So what should the government do? The government should first relocate those people, then they go ahead in introducing their mitigation measures. But let us not confuse our August House. Let us educate them about what we should do. Stop telling them lies, but make them understand the reason why you are here. My precurrent speaker talked about sun season, that they will... It's time? Thank you. I beg to rest my case.
Amazing. Thank you very much, our dear debaters.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think now we are going to move on to the audience to give us their views on the motion. So if you want to speak on the motion, I think you just raise your hand and I bring the microphone to you. The debaters can come down. So any person from the audience to give us views on this very nice motion, farming methods. I know so many of you here are farmers, or you're doing it as a I'm seeing many of you are thinking about the responses, so I think I'm going to give you a little time. And meanwhile, our theme for this day is Fix the Future, Youth-Led Solutions for Climate Resilience and Justice. Fix the Future, Youth-Led Solutions for Climate Resilience and Justice. And that's our motion, and the motion and the theme and the motion is dealing with farming. Any farming methods that can bring the speakers we are talking about the bringing crops that are resistant to climate. So I'm looking for feedback from the audience. And I know you are listening attentively. It may not even be your point. It may be something that you would want to add on. And there are actually hands that were coming up at the stage. So for the speakers who are here, you could now raise your point so that we can see the area of debate here. Oh. Thank you so much, sir. I would request you to take.
Yeah, thank you very much. I believe there were some panel of jury, and then the opposing and proposing sides. The rest of the protocol be observed, and Ra Edward are my names, the District Community Development Officer of Warua District Local Government, but most important of all, I am a farmer myself. I'm just going to contribute 1 or 2 points. The two sides talked much, I want to use simple language, talked much about tree planting, afforestation. All that I'm adding is there are trees which you can plant concurrently or together with the crops. You call it agroforestry. Okay? Like one type is gravilia. You plant them, you space them. You can grow crops underneath. And interestingly, if we don't grow trees, and also keep surviving with the crops, population keeps on increasing, the land keeps on reducing. And therefore it is important to plant the two together. And if you remember, His Excellency, the President of Uganda, at one stage was moving from virtually almost household to household and promoting a certain type of irrigation which I want to call also, you tie bottles or any container, just have an opening, a small opening for water to keep leaking or dripping under the roots. And that is effective for growing quite a number of crops. I won't stop there for the time being. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope you've been writing down. He has given us some amazing tips on how to grow agroforestry, drip irrigation, and we are not giving this as a debate. We are taking this to use it outside, to use it in our farming methods outside this hall. So anyone else?
Okay. I'm going to start by analyzing according to my own understanding.
Please introduce yourself.
My name's Amaikaru Matulate. Okay, the motion states, this house will ensure farming methods that resist climate change to ensure we have enough food. In my own understanding, this motion is trying to tell us there are farming methods that cause climate change. So we're trying to shift from like those kind of farming methods to that one which, when we plant food, they may not cause climate change. But we also need, in that world where we don't want farming methods to cause climate change, we should also provide enough food. If I was one of the participants, I was going to support the negative side. The reason being, I will base on their farmers farming methods that resist climate change, but also provide enough food. Because most of the farming methods that I know, they resist climate change and provide food are only these methods whereby they pack like the crops in tins, only for like rare foods. So I don't think they could provide enough food. That's why I beg to stop.
Thank you so much. There are other hands. I think these are points to note down. And
thank you very much. I am called Teacher Robina from Nebi District. When I look at the solution that our debate has had today, it is relevant to what is happening now. Because when you look at the changes, even in the seasons of planting, especially for us, the local farmers, who can't afford some of the methods that the government has brought in, you'll realize that this is benefiting to everyone who has attended. And I believe everyone who is here is going to be more of an ambassador to the changes in the climate. Now, when you look at talked about agro farming, mixing crops with trees together. However, we have agriculturalists who discourage us from using certain type of trees when we are mixing crops with trees, that those trees drain the water. Now, when we are planting the trees, we should also be very specific and pertinent about the type of trees we are going to plant as a way of keeping our climate in touch with the crops that we are growing. They always tell us that there is this type of tree mivule, that it drains water. Now, if we are to bring this type of farming, so government should be in position one on sensitizing us on the type of tree exactly we can use if we are to be in point with taking care of our climate. And then I'm just going to give you a case study. Initially in Pakwach district, that was a place which was affected so much when it came to issues of greens. And we all know that greens is part of the diet that we need. But government, with its good gesture, brought in irrigation scheme in Wadlai. It's over, the piped one that our debaters were talking about. Now in Pakwach district, from January to January, the short seasoned crops, we get them in full board. Actually, sometimes if